Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad and you join me from the garage once again for another modification to my Mission Overland Summit trailer. With the installed heater in the trailer, it stays nice and toasty inside even when it's in the teens outside, and it's never been a problem staying warm even in the coldest of weather. In the summertime, on the other hand, when it's in the hundreds, it gets very toasty inside. Even with cracking the windows and putting the max air fan on, it gets uncomfortable, and especially if it's humid, it gets really sticky and just damp inside. With using the AC port on the side, the Zero Breeze Mark II doesn't even hold its weight unless it's probably in the 80s. Once you get up to 90s and 100s, it does nothing to keep you cool inside. I've also tried the EcoFlow Wave 2. While it is better, it still doesn't do anything in the heat of the day to keep it cool and barely holds up to the heat in the evening. And if it's humid outside, it's almost impossible to keep it comfortable inside the trailer. So, I was very excited to hear Mission Overland came out with a rooftop air conditioner that is DC powered for the trailer. It does fit right into where the max air fan was, so you don't have to drill anything else or cut anything else into the roof. The hole's already there once you remove the max air fan. While this is not going to be an installation video, I'll walk you through some of the steps. The instructions from both Mission Overland and the AC manufacturer are kind of not that great. I'll go over some of the things that caused me trouble on installation, so hopefully it can save you some time. You can choose to go this route for yourself. So let's dive into it. Now, the AC has already been installed. It did take me about 3 days to do it. I only got to spend about 3 hours a day in doing the installation, so it did take me quite some time to do it. The hardest part to complete on the installation was actually the struts for the roof. I don't know if you ever played with gas struts before, but they're not any fun. So I filmed a little bit of it, and as I started doing some things that were a little sketchier and sketchier, I decided I probably shouldn't be filming it. I don't want to give them bad ideas. So with this, let's start rolling some of the clips I did along the way to show you the steps. After that, I'll show what it looks like after it's installed. Now, mind you, I can't actually run the AC. It's about 40 degrees in my garage right now, and it won't actually kick in because it's too cold. But the fan does work. I was able to play with it a little bit, and so far, so good. So in the kit also includes new gas struts. These are a little heavier duty. They can handle more weight. I think it's 225 pounds each. And it has an easy way to change that. They have screws on both sides. Just gotta screw these on. Take the old ones out, put the new ones on. The only catch is when you take the old ones out, make sure you put the brace up inside the trailer because it is holding the roof up right now. And you take it out, it's gonna collapse if you don't hold it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and change those out right now. This is the first thing I'm doing before I even take the max air van out. I'm going to change out the struts, get them swapped out, make sure you brace the inside so the roof doesn't collapse back down you while you're doing the work. I am going to film with my GoPro up there. A time lapse of the work going on. I'm not going to bore you with the step-by-step, but there are other videos out of how to change out the max air fan for a rooftop air conditioner, so I figured I might as well make a quick video on it. They do provide some instructions, but they're pretty basic. It's not overly complicated to do it. As you can see, I quickly got frustrated with these gas struts. These things are a serious pain in the ass. So the solution I did end up using involved some ratchet straps and some high-strength paracord. I'm not going to show you how I did it because I don't give anyone bad ideas. It's probably not the safest way of doing it, but it did eventually work. And once I figured out the solution to the problem, once I found the solution to how to remove the gas struts, I was able to get them removed and put the new ones in under 10 minutes per side. It did take me several hours to figure out how to get to that part, but once I got there, it wasn't too bad. So if you need some help, give me a direct message and I'll try to help you out, but be careful, these things are very strong. I did get the struts changed out eventually. It was not easy. Yes, I'm wearing different clothes. It's a different day. It took me a long time to figure out how to get these things off and then back on. The top is rather heavy once you get the struts removed, and it's impossible to get the new struts compressed because they're 225 pound rated, where I think these are only about 90. So it's a lot different. So I did stop the time lapse for that because I don't want to give them bad ideas on how to do it the wrong way, but they are done. And now we'll continue on with the time lapse as I am going through and removing the old max air fan. I did have some extra sealant on there. I had to remove that first. I have the stuff inside ready to go. Once the fan's out, we'll do some cleaning up around the area where the fan was, get all the old silicone off. I'll use some rubbing alcohol to get it cleaned up around there, and then we can pop the new seal for the top of the AC around the opening. So with that, let's go ahead and restart the time lapse now that the dangerous stuff is done, And even these are dangerous. These are actually a lot of potential energy once these things are compressed. And if it comes loose, it could, pop a hole in the roof or your arm or finger. So they're not a joking matter. So be safe around these things. Don't do what I did, and that's why I didn't record what I did. While this is not a difficult part of the job, it is very time consuming. There's about 35 screws that hold the max air fan to the top of the roof, and it takes a long time to get all of them removed. Once I got the screws removed, I used a nylon pry tool to start peeling off the max air fan from the roof of the trailer, and that worked out pretty well. And before I knew it, I had it removed. Now that the max air fan's been removed from the hole in the roof, I have to go through and clean all the silicone off because the AC unit has its own seal you gotta pop on there. So I'm gonna go through and get all this cleaned off and then use a little rubbing alcohol to get everything nice and clean so the new seal has a good place to adhere to before I put the AC unit on top of the roof. So let me get it all cleaned up and I'll be back in just a minute. Well, quick update. This is probably the most time-consuming part of the whole project so far of removing the max air fan, is getting all the silicone removed from there. There must use like 2 tubes of silicone to adhere this thing to it. But slowly but surely, it's all getting removed. It does fit nice on top of the roof. I'd say there's about an inch between the bottom of the AC unit and the roof. It does install quite nice. You do lose some of your roof rails on top. I had to take out the ones that are right here because they go right through the AC unit. And I also lost the one that was up here because if I put it there, I'm blocking my solar panels. So I only have 2 left. With the 2 rails I have left, it should help protect the AC unit from anything that might happen to brush up against it while out and about. The inside footprint isn't much larger than what the max air fan took. Now the plastic shroud that goes around it does take up a little more space, but I think it closes it off nice and neat. On the inside, you have the controls to change the fan speed, the mode, and the temperature, as well as turning it on and off. The wiring on the inside goes down the same as the max air fan and runs along down the side of it, up in the front, and then goes down into the front compartment up there by the back side of the kitchen. Now, while I can't test the actual function of the AC unit itself because it's too cold to kick the compressor in, just from the fan speed alone, what I can tell you is it moves a lot of air. If you're able to spend a whole day on the installation, I'm pretty sure you could get this knocked out in one day. It's not that difficult. The hardest thing was getting those struts changed out so you can have more lifting power when you lift the roof up. The wiring is pretty straightforward. Once you get the wiring removed and the track that was holding the max air fan wiring in, you simply put the new wiring in. The new wiring is a lot thicker than the wiring that was used for the max air fan. Not that difficult. I just have it secured up with some anchors and I have it tied up, and so far it's working out pretty good. I'll let you know how it holds. But overall, I'm very happy with installation. I like the way it looks inside. I can't wait to use it in the summertime. If you have any questions about the installation or the AC unit itself, please make sure to leave some comments down below. I do make an effort to answer all comments. I hope to see you again in a future video. Thank you for watching.